I wanted to talk to you today about what dropshipping will look like in 2019 and how you can find a way to succeed within that space. So this is regardless of if you sell on Amazon or Shopify or eBay, whatever your platform is, I want to talk to you about a few things. First of all, this quick misconception about how dropshipping is dying. Yes, it's kind of becoming difficult to succeed in the space, but it's actually quite the opposite of dying. It's just becoming way more saturated within certain markets. That's mainly what I want to focus on today when I talk about how you can succeed in 2019. In 2019, things are going to change. This, many of you guys have probably seen, is a graph of the sales in the US versus the rest of the world when we talk about dropshipping. Now, something that you're going to notice is they're fairly close in size, but dropshipping wise, there's 82% of the dropshippers in that American field as opposed to the rest of the world. So that makes things incredibly challenging to compete in 2019 in the US market with dropshipping. Some of the other big countries that are in this stat are, things like Australia. That's a major player in this field, so competition is slowly moving towards there. But what the people are ignoring is when we look at the rest of the world, there's a lot of emerging economies that are just adapting to e-commerce. Now, that sounds crazy, it's 2019. Well, people just say, if they're not in e-commerce now, they probably won't be, or they probably are in e-commerce. It's actually quite different. When we talk about this, we have to talk about psychology. The psychology of a consumer is a big thing. E-commerce is big in North America. Yes, it's awesome. Same in Australia, it's awesome. If you're from one of those places, you recognize that it's kind of become a way of life. Ordering something on Amazon is simple. But when I look overseas, that's not the norm. The example that I like to use is something like fitness. Fitness in North America and fitness around the world is an important thing, right? Well, when we look at fitness in the US, it's about being as big as we possibly can to impress all other males and females. Females, it's about being, kind of shredded, petite. That's the ideal look within the industry. Well, when we look at somewhere like Spain, that's actually quite an emerging market when we talk about e-commerce and dropshipping, it's quite opposite. Fitness is used as more of a tool to fit in with your fellow peers. And not be big and bulky. It's about to be lean. It's like that Reebok CrossFit look, if you're familiar with that. So that's one example of how this kind of e-commerce thing is actually more psychological than the actual e-commerce ability. Something that we can look at is where e-packet is being offered around the world. It's slowly being offered to more of these European countries. That's obviously a huge indicator that if the shippers right from the Chinese suppliers deem that this is something that we should pursue, well, e-commerce, we should jump on that, right? Especially when we talk about dropshipping. So I want to tell you guys just a couple of quick stats. Some of you guys have probably already seen my videos where I talk about these. This is just to give you a perspective of where I'm coming from. We've based a lot of our stats off of thousands of orders. Okay, that's basically what I wanted you to see here. So we've looked at a ton of countries, looked at their conversion rates, looked at their average order size, all of these factors in the psychology of a consumer, when they're willing to purchase, reorder purchase rates, and we've come up with a list of what you need to do in 2019 to succeed in e-commerce and dropshipping. The biggest thing is you need to understand global markets. You need to stop worrying about the markets that maybe you live in. Probably speaking, they're not the best markets, chances are, if you're a dropshipper, because majority of dropshippers are in the US or Australia. Just challenging. It's too challenging. It's too saturated. Ads cost way too much money. To test out things, to A-B test, it used to be $5, $10 was all I needed to A-B test. Now it's $50 to make a definitive A-B test. So that's challenging. So as an e-commerce guru, I hate to use that term, but as an e-commerce guru, this is what I want you to focus on in 2019. I want you to start looking at diversifying. Look at the rest of the globe. Find other countries that you can adapt to and you can sell in those countries. Predominantly, you're probably English speaking if you're watching this video. Well, use that to your advantage. If you're not English speaking, you have a competitive advantage that I can't even compete with you on. Sell in countries that have your native tongue. Try it out. Look at user rates with Facebook around the world. There's stats on this. You can Google this and find this really quickly. This will give you a great indicator of, is there an ad platform for me? Because I don't recommend you leaving social media ads. They're excellent tools, and ultimately those will never leave us. There's a huge platform for a lot of major brands now, and that's kind of the problem with America, is that these brands now are spending a lot of money on social media, making it very challenging for us to compete. So look at that. Study these international trends. Second thing, find products that can go internationally viral. So if I look at some of the softwares that I use, and this is one that I've created, full disclaimer, I can see that when I click into a product, I can look at where it's actually sold around the world. Now, when I pick my products, this is the software that I use, I actually look at emerging markets. So I don't even look at products that are sold in America. This has over 1 million products in our database right now, and it's adding hundreds of thousands every couple days. So when I look at this, I actually look for products that aren't being sold in North America right now, and I look at where they're being sold to, and I want to try and find exploits so that I can sell these products in other countries that I don't normally sell in. So for example, if I look at one and I find that I wanted to look for a product that was going to be a popular product in Spain or Australia, well, great. Now I click into that product and I look, where else is it sold? Diversification is a huge concept in e-commerce and business in general. If you don't diversify, you're actually running a really high risk of failing. Now, if you put all your eggs in one basket and it does fail, you're kind of hooped. You have to scramble to find a new product. Now you have a burn time with cash, and that's going to hurt you. It's going to be a very, very tough task to overcome. So I want to diversify within the field, and I want to sell in multiple countries. The same product, the same ads can be used across these countries. Why am I not capitalizing on that? Especially when I'm talking about outside of the US, a test now is going to cost me $5, $10 in these European countries, whereas it's going to cost me $50 within the US. So you need to understand that, and you need to use this premise. Find yourself a reliable source of data. Yes, obviously I'm going to recommend mine. It's $1 to try, I get that. But there's plenty of other data sources out there online, I'm sure. I haven't found many that have quite what we have, but look for one. You're going to need somewhere that's not just your intellect, because at the end of the day, in 2019 especially, AI is taking over. Machine learning, all of these crazy buzzwords that we use are becoming the next wave in the world. So if you're not on that wave, well, you're not adapting, and that's going to be incredibly challenging for you to succeed. You have to understand that. Now, think about it. If you're trying to compete with me in 2019, this is what you're up against. I have access to over 1 million products, but better yet, I have an AI system that goes through those products for me and tells me exactly what the exploits are going to be. Listen to this crazy concept. What this AI system does is pretty cool. We give it all this data, okay, and we say, hey, AI system, I want to know what the sales are going to be on January 10th. Great. I tell it all of the data up to January 9th. Now, it makes its predictions on January 10th. Based off the data that I receive on January 10th, I show the AI system this and I say, hey, AI, how'd you do? Did you succeed or did you fail? And it'll tell me, hey, Jared, I got 85% of it right. And I go, that's not good enough. I need you to do better, AI. So the AI system then goes back and predicts January 11th. And it continues to do this on a much smaller scale than that. It looks at hourly basis, so that it's learning even quicker, or minute basis. And it makes decisions based off this and goes, well, now I'm 96% confident that I know tomorrow's sales. So now, Jarrett, when you log back into me, I'm going to tell you the most relevant products based on that. So if you want a product in an emerging market, this is my prediction that it's going to succeed. 96% confident. Okay, great. Now, that's kind of like how a conversation would go theoretically with this AI system. Of course it does it automatically. I'm not talking to my computer. But that's going to give you a concept of how the world's changing, and you need to adapt to technology. Technology is going to be the moving and leading indicator within this field. Those of us that adapt, great, they're going to be able to succeed. Those of us that don't, they're probably going to be left behind, because you're not able to compete with me on an intellectual level when I have access to this. I'm very, very knowledgeable in this space. I've done a lot, but this robot can learn what I know and predict what I think is going to happen a lot more accurately than I can in a shorter period of time. It's crazy, and this is a basic AI. This is called weak form AI. There's no strong AI yet. This is very basic AI. So you need to understand that. Now, am I saying you need to be really tech savvy? No, it's actually quite the opposite. As we move forward in 2019, the tech aspect's going to come down a lot. You're not going to need to know as much technical know-how. There's softwares that are making it easier. Shopify is a great example of that. It's actually making it easier for you to make changes on your website. Maybe, yes, you need someone to set up your initial website. You can contact me if that's the case, but probably chances are you can make changes once it's set up rather easily. Depending on your age gap or technology gap, it's probably not challenging. I've worked with a lot of older clients recently, and it's pretty cool to see. Now, the other thing with technology is you need to adapt to a platform like this. Fortunately enough for you, you don't have to actually go out and create one or set one up. Find someone that is techie. Find a platform that is techie and jump on that. Now, something that we're doing, so you guys are aware, is I don't think this is good enough for 2019. This is all of AliExpress's products that are relevant, and we're pulling more and more every day. Now, we're going to be looking at doing the exact same thing with other big databases, like Amazon, eBay. Some of those are just examples of what we're looking into moving forward to, so we're diversifying, and data is king. Remember that. Data, data, data. I can't stress how important data is. Data is the leading driver when we talk about change in this world without us realizing it. The amount of data you have without realizing it is crazy. Think about this, Facebook has over 17,000 data points on you. Can you name 17,000 things about yourself? Chances are you can maybe name 100, right? That's how crazy computers are, and we're trying to compete with them. Adapt, jump on a computer. Get with this. This will allow you to succeed. You need to understand that at the end of the day, I'm not going to be able to acquire as much data as a computer can. I need to find a computer that wants to work with me, and I need to use that data in order to succeed. So I hope that that clears up kind of how 2019 is going to work. Economically, there's going to be more money spent online in 2019 than there ever has been. That trend's going to continue to go up until every single emerging market is caught up. That's just a fact. A lot of retailers are even leaving the retail space and going specifically e-commerce. Some of the large fashion brands are doing things like not even allowing you to buy clothes in their store. You can go into their stores to try things on, but you have to buy them online. That's a crazy step in that direction, which is pretty astronomical. My last prediction, by 2022, I don't think any of us will be shopping in a grocery store. That's how crazy the technology is becoming. In some places where they're doing pilot programs about this, it's actually cheaper to go and order your groceries online, plus it's more effective and efficient. Now, if you were getting those groceries rather quickly and you had a system in your pantry that told you, hey, your peanut butter is low, would you like us to order some more? You're gonna be like, wow, I didn't even realize that. I would have forgotten. Great, yeah, let's order some more. It knows exactly what your needs are based on the AI system in your pantry, and it orders that food for you. Amazing. Now, you're missing out on the costs of cashiers, of all of these people that work in the day-to-day store, keeping it nice and clean and neat for you to shop in. Well, if it was just an Amazon warehouse, those costs are going to dramatically lower because they don't need that customer service while you're in there. Now, robots can go in and pick that food for you. Food becomes much cheaper. This is one of the ways that the world's going to change, and I'm confident in that. So I look forward to predicting the future with you guys some more. If you guys have any insight on that as well, please leave it in the comment section below. I always like to hear what you guys have. But jump on a platform that works with you and get involved in AI and understand that data is going to be the driver in 2019. It's no different. So I'm excited for the new year. I hope you guys all the best, and please let me know what your thoughts are. See you later.